My name's Rich, welcome back to Me, My Bike and I, and today we're going to get the new starter motor fitted to the Honda VF750F and get her cranking. So if you cast your mind back a couple of videos, this is the old starter motor, pulled it apart, completely burnt out. This is a brand new one, aftermarket, and this is the battery off the bike, which looks pretty new to me. I've had it on trickle charge the whole time. So what I'm going to do is grab my motorcycle jump cables and we're going to give this a little bench test before we fit it. So first things first, let's just disconnect the battery. And these are dedicated motorcycle jump leads. Just be really careful when you're connecting them, because these things can have a habit of jumping out your hand and sparking quite fiercely. Well, that is certainly a lot better than the one I took off. Okay, I just need to wiggle the starter in here. That's the two mounting bolts just next to the oil filter. That cable's getting in the way a little bit. That just runs to the water temperature sensor on the lower radiator. Moved out of the way, of course, and then the business end of the starter motor goes through there and engages with that gear there, which you'd call the first idler gear. So hopefully we can just fettle it in there. It'll engage nice and easily without too much trouble. Right, let's see if we can get this to slip in. Which I very much doubt it will, just straight away. Let's just get a bit of grease on it. It seems to find its home. Right, let's get a bit of grease on the end of that. Right, a few minutes later, we've got a bit of grease on there. Okay, you can see it's only got to move like a centimetre. Got to go far. The trouble is, it's getting a bit of push behind it. That's the problem. I think I might need to take this bracket off again actually and get my other hand behind there a little bit to help. Yeah, let's do that. Just makes a little bit more room. Okay, let's see. There you go, so you can get your hand in there now. The trouble is, you're overcoming, or trying to overcome, the it's like an interference fit, albeit one with a rubber O-ring. Which you can imagine, that's not the easiest thing to overcome. What I'm going to do is try and get a bit of leverage on the bottom of this, or the back of this starter, with a bar, even if it is against this sort of very thin oil filter. I won't do that in the arm. Right, take that off and replace it anyway. Sometimes they just move. These have always been really difficult to get in. You just need to get right behind it and give it a proper push. It's always possible that the spline's not lined up. Give it a quick turn. Oh, I went too far, but that's half the battle, not getting any leverage behind it, and in addition, not knowing if you've got the gears lined up. And then you'll find you'll spend about an hour and a half messing with it, and then it will just go. Worst case, well, I'll have to take the oil filter off, which I've clearly just marred up by looking at it, and make a bit more room behind it, and also the side case, which I'm trying to avoid doing because I don't want to drop all the oil. Or I could catch it and put it back in and change it when I'm ready to probably get the bites. It's not even starting now, so I must have had the splines lined up in the first place. Just didn't want to push in. I can't just turn it a little bit. It doesn't want to go just a little bit. Yeah. You see, he hasn't got to go very far there. If you can see that, you can see it's not really anything like as engaged as it should be. Pain in the blooming backside. It's just crazy. Ridiculous. Right, okay. I think we're going to have to drain the oil. Get the oil filter out of the way. Annoyingly. Right, see what the oil's like in here anyway. Get this off. Seems to be all the way to the top, so I reckon that's new oil. That's the annoying thing. Slight mishap there with the camera. Too much splash as this first comes out. It's looking a bit nasty. Not sure. I mean, it could just be a bit of moisture in there or something. Let's get that bolt back in. I do like working on Honda engines. Okay, that's positioned just about right, I think. Okay, 17mm. Although it looks like it's got paint on it. Can't see why it painted that. That must just be from the factory. Ugh. Oh, that was quite tight. To be fair, I'd normally use a socket. I don't know what I've got a spanner on it for, but it's pretty tight. A lot easier than a filter wrench. Do that back up quickly and stick a cloth over that exhaust pipe. Although I've already put oil over it, so engineers, eh? Where should we put the oil filter? Ah, right over the exhaust. Why would you want to do that? Well, you know, because then you can pour oil over the exhaust when you take the filter off. Okay. I mean, why wouldn't you want to pour oil all over the exhaust when you take the filter off? There you go. Now you can see I can get right behind it. So assuming that I can get it to engage with the first idler gear, I should be able to get a bit more of a push on it and just get it all the way in, hopefully. You know what I have seen though, when I'm down on the ground looking up, just the bottom of one of the carburetors going into the rear cylinder, one of the rear cylinders, looked like it was leaking fuel. So yeah, good luck getting this thing to fire straight away. Right, it certainly gives me much more space behind it. Don't mean it's going to go in any easier. Just give that. Well, you can see the I don't know if you can see the idler gear, can you? Who knows? Rattling away there, look. I think that's the issue. We've got two problems here. Firstly is overcoming the resistance of the O-ring. Secondly, knowing if it's lining up properly. At least from feeling the idler gear I can tell it's working. As in, you know, it'll only go in one direction. Can't be this difficult. Still in my own way. Plan. We need a plan. Right. This is not going to be a popular thing to do. But my first attempt at sorting this problem out is to get rid of the new O-ring and refit the old O-ring without damaging it. And if it leaks, I'll sort it out. Can't be fairer than that. Just a little grease around it. One thing I am reasonably certain of is that nobody wants to see me setting fire to stuff like I normally do when I'm fixing bikes. Straight in. And my backup plan would have involved me getting the welder out. Right, I know that's going to be unpopular, but just bear in mind it's my bike, and if there's a problem I will sort it out myself. Getting some of the aluminium oxide off it. I'm assuming these are stainless bolts, which is why they're covered in white oxide. Yeah, they're much better. Just want to unclog the threads a little bit. So, okay, they're both the same size. So it's not quite lined up. There you go. You only ever really worry about putting bolts back in exactly the same place they came out if it was a sort of a critical thing. Goodbye. Okay. Right. I might be blocking the camera now, but I'm just struggling to get this top bolt in because it won't line up. Right, let's take that back off again very quickly. Sometimes this is just what you need to do with aftermarket parts. By the time I get it fitted, it's going to look like a blooming old one. When it was on the bike, it looked like it needed to slip down a little bit, so I'm thinking it's the top edge there that needs to come down a bit. Okay, right. My excitement was certainly short-lived there, wasn't it? Position again. Right, that's fine. It's just been pushed slightly off. I just can't tell which way, that's the trouble. So it feels like it wants to go. It feels like it's in, actually. Yeah, it's in. There you go. See, I barely took anything off that, to be fair. Right, let's get that done up. Get a ratchet ring spanner, that might be easier. I don't think I've got one that small. Let me have a look. I certainly do have one that small. And again. Any minute now it'll just tie it up on me. And it'll be all good. Oh, there you go. Hey. There you stupid. Just give that a last little nip up. Same on the top. All good. So what we need to do now is just get the nut off the terminal and drop it, and then get the cable on, and actually let's just get that pulled right back because that's a pain in the butt. There you go. Okay, that's just going to probably slip forward again anyway. Again, we're all down to fingers and thumbs again. Okay. There you go. So if I stick the nut back on, it's all clean. What I might do is just give it a little spray. Oh, it's pretty clean. There you go. So I was going to give it a bit of a spray of WD-40, but we're all good. And now I just need to get what looks like a 10mm open-ended on there. Right. Yeah, I guess easily on there. I just need to make sure that cable doesn't turn as I don't want a cable to twist, put stresses on it unnecessarily. Just hold the back of it. Now, you do need a very good connection there. Seems to be okay. Good grief, right. Right, that is done and on. I'm just going to wind the oil filter back on because I don't want any whatever residual amount of oil's left in the engine getting chucked all over the place. I'm going to try and turn it over. The plan would have been to have put the oil back in until I was ready to change the oil, but given it's got moisture in it, or it looks like it has, really don't want to be doing that, so I'm going to do that. Well, so they don't get done up tight anyway, do they? Right. That should be enough. A couple more. There you go. Right, that's on. Yeah, just wanted to stop it flinging any residual oil out when I turn it over, or attempt to turn it over. Still got this bracketry to refit, which is the radiator bracket, and I'll do that once I've got the thing cranking, so I don't need to pull anything out again. Trying to get the battery back on. Some bikes, taking batteries on and off is really, really easy. And on others it's such a palaver. Same with starter motors and long term we're going to swap that out as part of this. Maybe we're just trying to get it cranking. Just get under that nut so we can lift it, I think. And then hopefully that's grabbed it. Yes, no. There you go. There you go. Okay, I'll do the proper. I'll swap that out because that is completely wrong. Okay, this might grab on its own. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. That one has. You can do it up with a screwdriver for speed, but then when you give it its final go, just use a socket. Save chewing off the head. Flat blade screwdriver to get that one started, so just use the socket for now. Right. Okay, let's see if we can get her to crank. Power on. Got a neutral light. She's definitely in neutral. Clutch in, run position. Let's hit the button. Well, in this video I set out to get her cranking, and she is. In the next one I'll get her running. I'll get the tank on, some fuel in it, and I'll get her fired up. Even if I do have to sort out some carburettor and spark issues along the way. And once we've done that we can start taking a look at all the other little problems. But until then, thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe and share, and I'll see you on the next video.